The stranger, who has been staying at the Coach and Horses, runs out of money, and making himself completely invisible, he steals it from the vicar, Bunting's drawer. Noticing some strange happenings in and around the stranger's room, Mr. and Mrs. Hall inspect inside. But very curiously, things rise in the air and charge at them and drive them out. Then an argument ensues when the stranger is not served and his calls are not responded to. Mrs. Hall demands the overdue bills to be paid first. In a fit of anger, the stranger removes his coverings and becomes invisible and gives a slip to all those who try to apprehend him. He creates havoc outside the inn and escapes toward Adderdean. On his way to Adderdean, the invisible stranger meets a tramp, whose assistance he hires in order to fetch his things from the inn and to execute his other willful intentions, remaining invisible.
I have catched the finest boots after a very long time, but they are too large, and the ones I wore are very comfortably fit, but too thin soled for damp.
They're boots, anyhow.
Where are you? Am I drunk? Have I had visions? Was I talking to myself? What the...
Don't be alarmed.
None of your ventriloquizing me. Where are you?
Don't be alarmed.
Alarmed, indeed. You will be alarmed in a minute, you silly fool.
Don't be a fool. You think I'm just imagination?
What else can you be?
Then I'm going to throw a flint at you till you think differently. If you struggle any more, I shall throw the flint at your head. Am I imagination?
Put yourself down, rot away. I'm done.
That's good. Listen, I am an invisible man.
Where have you hid? How do you do it? I don't know. I'm beat.
That's all. I'm invisible. That's what I want you to understand. And what I want you to understand is this.
But whereabouts?
Here, 6 yards in front of you.
Ah, sort of ghostily, though.
Of course.
How you manage it?
It's too long a story. And besides, what I want to say at present is this. I need help. I was wandering, mad with rage, naked, impotent. I could have murdered. And I saw you.
Lord!
I want you to help me get clothes and shelter. And then, with other things, if you won't, well, but you will, must. You have to be my helper. Help me, and I will do great things for you. An invisible man is a man of power.
All I want to do is to help you. Just tell me what I got to do, Lord.
After having agreed to assist Griffin, Mr. Thomas Marvel, the tramp, stopped at the foot of the Coach and Horses before marching inside. Then he barged into the parlour. When someone reminded him, "That room's private," he came out. Then, leaning against one of the gateposts, he waited. Huckster, who had been observing this from the beginning, came out of his shop and lurked for a chance to pounce in case Marvel committed any mischief. But why in the first place he went in and then suddenly came out, or what happened during his entry and exit, is just a matter of guess. In the parlour, Cuss, the doctor, and Bunting, the vicar, were examining the stranger's belongings.
Dear me, it's all cipher, Bunting.
There are no diagrams, no illustrations throwing light.
See for yourself.
Tap.
No.
Over the other side, my man.
Please shut that door.
All right. Right you are. Stand clear.
A sailor, I should judge. Amusing fellows they are. Stand clear, indeed. A nautical term, referring to his getting back out of the room, I suppose. One thing is indisputable. There certainly have been very strange things happening in Epping during the last few days. Very strange. I cannot, of course, believe in this absurd invisibility story.
It's incredible, incredible. But the fact remains that I certainly saw right down his sleeve. And just now, there's these books. Ah, here's some of what I take to be Greek. Greek letters, certainly.
What's happening? Who is it?
Since when did you learn to pry into an investigator's private memoranda? Since when did you learn to invade the private rooms of a man in misfortune? Where have they put my clothes? I want clothing and other accommodation, and I must also have those 3 books. Do what I tell you.
Yes.
Yes.
Stop! Thief!
The stranger passed his belongings through the parlor window to Mr. Marvel. In the meantime, the stranger robbed Cuss of his trousers and Bunting of every piece of his clothes, while he created havoc outside to give Mr. Marvel a cover and tripped Huckster. Bunting tried to escape, covering himself in the hearthrug through the window.